Alright, it's the 17th of February and I'm just doing a bamboo update. We'll actually be selling this house pretty soon, so I've actually sold off most of my bamboos. And one of the ones I still have remaining is the dendrocalamus asper hitam, or the black hitam. This is a giant black bamboo which can get nearly a foot in diameter and can get up to about 100 feet. And one thing that's pretty special about this type is it makes these black combs. So this was the original one right here, which is jet black when I got it. Here's this first comb right here, and then it made a second one which is actually turning a little bit black already, but actually topped it off. I think towards the bottom of this one it's also turning a little bit black. And a couple weeks ago it actually started putting out this guy, which is maybe about 15 inches tall, 14, maybe about 14, 15 inches. And as far as the diameter, I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit bigger than these. So it probably get to a similar diameter, because a lot of times when they're rising, you can really tell how fat they're going to get. But yeah, it depends on how much energy the whole plant has as a whole. And this is a relatively slow growing bamboo. But one thing that's pretty cool about this is it's such a tight clumper. So it's only going to make a new shoot right next to it. And I've actually tried to air layer some of these, but it actually never worked. Sometimes they don't really make the root buds at the base. So it's worked before once, but it hasn't since. So I'm thinking it's probably only going to work when it's hotter in the middle of the summer. But this is a 30-gallon pot, and it's definitely filled it up with lots of roots, because I just watered this yesterday and today. Basically sucked all the water out. There's really big leaves, and just with 3 combs, and it's already got a lot of foliage. Add another one in, and it's gonna clear out the pan within a few hours, especially once it gets hotter. So eventually I'm gonna try to get this thing sold off too. And moving on to my dendrocalamus sinicus. This really hasn't grown too much in the last year. Like, it grew from 2020 in the early months when it was still relatively small, but it was raining a lot more then too, so it really requires a lot of precipitation. And about 2 or 3 months ago I actually thinned it out and put a whole bunch of dirt and stuff along here, because it's really hard clay soil. And actually, I haven't been back here in a while, but yeah, to my surprise, I'm actually seeing quite a bit of good new shoots. Like this one right here, I didn't see it last time I came out here, and on the other side, yeah, it does look like there are a rush of new shoots coming in. They don't really look any bit bigger, but I mean, if it's making any growth at all, it's better than none, so I'm not gonna complain. I still think it's cool. But what I was hoping for was 2-inch shoots or bigger. So I'm kind of going around this thing, yeah, there are definitely a rush of new shoots coming in. It just doesn't seem like it's probably not quite good. Probably needs higher elevation, I guess consistent rainfall, to really be able to consistently make bigger shoots. But still relatively tight clumper. It's only within about a 2 feet diameter, and they're sticking to about 1 inch in size. So it's surviving well. It's just not really growing much, and especially during the dry season, it's not going to grow really fast. And past my 2 papaya trees, I have the regular dendrocalamus asper. And this guy, it's pretty hard to get a picture of the whole thing, but I do recall about 2 months ago, it made 2 new combs. As you see, it still has the sheaths on. taking it apart. But so far, you see the old new one, they still have all the sheaths on. They're not really getting too much bigger, but spreading a little bit better than the Sinicus. It just doesn't look like I'm getting any new shoots so far. But that's fine. It's been producing pretty well. And I actually did get a few air layers off of these. Because sometimes at the base of these branches, they'll make these aerial roots. But it's been relatively dry, so it's probably not going to work. But when it does, it's pretty cool. You can literally get a new plant by air layering. And usually when they look kind of like this, when it literally looks like a shoot coming off of a branch, that's usually when I have success. Like this one right here. There are actually, I'm not sure if I can zoom well, but this actually does have root buds at the base. So theoretically, I might be able to air layer it, but yeah, if I really need to. And just to back up all the way. Yes, this is actually a pretty big plant. And there's my Sinicus, which is coming up. So yeah, it is definitely really fun to grow bamboos here in Hawaii. Just wish we got a little bit more rain, because it's not really feasible to try to water these things all the time.